Hey, what's up guys? Mike here with Step-by-Step Programming, and today we're going to learn how to use the FetchedResultsController, which is something that comes with CoreData to change the way that you display your data. If you want to develop something that is going to sort data by CoreData, I suggest you set it up this way. If you want to just learn how to use CoreData, check out the video in the description down there, and if you're just looking to add this to your app, go ahead and you could skip to the loadData section, where that's where we get to the FetchedResultsController. The rest of it is setting up CoreData, which I'm going to go through very quickly. So again, check out the other app on CoreData if you're just looking for that tutorial, and skip ahead if you just want to add it to your app. So without further ado, let's get started. And the FetchedResultsController, which is abbreviated as FRC, and some of the things that I'll type, just because it's a big word. And so how to do this is going to have 5 steps. The first 2 or 3 are kind of basic CoreData stuff. So you're going to create the app with CoreData or add it to your app. You can see how to do that in the other video that I have. Set up the data model, which we're going to do in a second. Set up the saveData functions, loadData functions, which is when we're going to get into FetchedResultsController things. And then for the 5 and bonus, we're going to sort by sections using FRC section ability. So you know how, like, if you want to sort by a certain entity, like a date or a category or something like that, and display it all in the same table view, this is the best way to do it. So well, let's go. Okay, so the first things first, we're going to make a new project here in Xcode. So of course, create a new Xcode project, and it's going to be a single view app named FRC app, and yeah, whatever. Use CoreData, make sure that's checked. That'll make your life a lot easier if you plan on using CoreData. And yeah, whatever. Here we go. And there we have it. Now we're done. Have a good one. All right. All right. No, but anyway, let's get started here. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to set up a data model. So let's just, for this example, we're just going to say let's create an array of books so that we can sort by author, just to show you guys how this works. And so in our data model here, we're going to go in and we're going to create a new entity, add entity, and that entity is going to be called book. And we're going to have attributes on this entity called author, which must begin with a lowercase letter, of course. And we're going to have the title of the book, which also must, I swear I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes, so you guys, just so you guys can see how I got it wrong and learn from my mistakes, right? That's the whole point here. It's not me screwing up, I swear. So, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go into our main view controller, and we're going to set up an instance of the context. And in here, in the app delegate, see, it's already, they give you all these CoreData things that they call the CoreData stack with persistent containers. And we're just going to target that as and create a constant for the context. So let context equals UI application. Oh yeah, we're going to need to import CoreData before it understands any of that stuff. And let's build, because it's kind of you want to have everything correct. Make sure we're getting everything done properly. It must have a type. Of course it must. Yeah. And we're going to build that again. Just so we can get the view controller to act right here. And let's see, UI application dot shared dot delegate as app delegate. So it's going to process all that and say persistent container, which is in the app delegate, view context. And so that sets up the same context that was in the app delegate. Next thing we're going to do is create a table view in the storyboard just to hold all this data. And also I have a video on setting up a table view if you guys are interested in that. Put the link down there as well. So, table view. Yeah, because like I said, I'm going to do a lot of the stuff that doesn't include Fetch Results Controller pretty quick. Like make this stick to the sides. Actually, let's not set that up yet because I want to add a navigation bar. It sticks to the top and sides, and we'll make it stick to the table view. Now I made this just so we could do bar button item that makes an add, so that we can add things. And there we go, just for sake of consistency. And then, so yeah, we have it. We're going to have one cell, and we're going to call that cell, book cell. So in the reuse identifier, which it always must have, say book cell. Excuse me, guys. Got a little sniffle here. The weather was actually cold for once in LA where I live. It kind of gave me some sinuses. So if you see me pause abruptly, that's probably what's happening. So we also, in order to add labels and things to this, we need to put this label here, but we also need to make a cell Swift file, which we're going to do here in a minute. And put the label. And yeah, we'll sort by author in the sections. I'll show you guys how to do that. It's pretty cool and useful. In here, I'm going to go move my face so you guys can see what's going on here. We're going to, we need to put it horizontally and vertically in the container. There we go. Easy way to do it. And it's going to be book title so we don't get lost. All right. Now the next thing to do is to create a new file. It is a Cocoa Touch class. Table view cell. Wow, you guys read my mind. So it's going to be book table view cell. You want to make sure you're targeting the app, and then it's of course in the app folder. And now we have that, and we're going to create an IB outlet now from the book title into the cell. As soon as we get them all to work together. Book table view cell. You want to select that as the custom class for your table view cell. And then you'll be able to hit this and display your table view cell, which should come up. There it is. and we're going to have the book title. Jeez. And it's going to be an outlet right here, so that later we can update it in the view controller, because the model view controller way to do things that I like to use is set up to where you have to create these instances, but you don't necessarily do anything in this class. Because it's a recurring, because the cell is recurring, that you can't just add this outlet to this view controller, because it's going to want to display just one line of data when you want to add, use CoreData and add like 100 different data points, and it just won't compute that in the view controller, which is why you have to say book title UI label for each individual cell. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a pop-up or UI alert, more specifically, that's going to add what we need to our database. So in that, we're going to go in here and we're going to create a outlet for this add button, or an IB action for this add button, actually. And it's going to be add button pressed. I'm going to go through this quickly, just creating we wanted to say author text field equals UI text field you want to let the alert equal UI alert controller. Oops. There we go. Message blank. Preferred style is going to be alert. Okay, so here we're going to, here I messed that one up a little bit. I'm going to have a UI alert action, and it's going to be title, add book, style default, then the handler is going to be a closure, and in there we're going to let our new book equal, let me see, and it's going to be equal to the entity, which our entity in this case is book. Let's go back. Book, and then book, and then under context, and it's going to be self because it's in a closure, self.context. So it's going to be new book dot title equals title text field dot text. New book dot author equals author text field dot text. And then we're going to call self.saveData, which is a function that we're going to create here in a second down here. And then you go alert.addAction, and it equals the action that we put up here, or right here. And we go alert.addTextField, and we're going to hit enter to turn that into a closure, and it's going to be the author text, hit enter, author text field, and text field dot placeholder. Now we're going to change it to auth because it's so much, it's the same as author text field up here, and that would lead to some confusion. Auth text field dot placeholder equals new author name here, and then auth text field is going to equal author text field. Then we're going to add another text field. Guess what this one's called? It is the book text field. Because I don't know how to shorten the word book. It's already a short word. And book text field dot placeholder equals book title here, and then book text field equals book text field. Title text field. Okay, this is going on over here where I'm having an issue with the let constant. So let's try just calling them both alert text field and see if that's going to make it go away. Huh. Okay, so I figured it out, guys. NAO alert text field. And we can go back to auth text field now, because I just figured out that it has to be the dot text, which is interesting because I've done other projects. It could be like a change in Swift or something, because I've done other projects where you didn't have to specify the text, at least in the alert text field. But, okay, that's fine with me. Will do. There we go. And so now all that's left is to display the alert that we have created. Animated true, completion nil. All right, there we go. That's programmed our add button. Now we have the save data thing here that we're going to need to create a function for. And this one's pretty simple. It's a do catch block. Anybody that's familiar with CoreData will have seen this a lot. Catch I recommend you do the backslash parentheses with the error inside, so you can display your own error if it has an error, but this one will tell you exactly what's up. So just a little sidebar there. And at the end, we're going to want to reload our table view, which reminds me that we never set up the table view in the view controller. So the next thing is UI table view data source, UI table view delegate. And it's going to say, do you want to add protocol stubs? Yep. And we're going to take those and we're going to drag them down here. And we're also going to create an IB outlet that links up table view dot delegate equals self, table view dot data source equals self. You could also use a view table view controller, and you wouldn't have to go through all this. It's already set up. But you know, just since we added one, you got to set some of this stuff up. And we're going to go back to the storyboard here, and see we have this table view outlet. We're going to drag it to our table view. So now they point at each other. All right. Now we're going to go back to our down here. We're going to do table view dot reload data, and in the do we're going to try the context, which is what we created up above, up here. Try context dot save, which is a natural like CoreData feature. Now this is kind of weird that it's popping this up right here, so let's just build and see what's going on here. Of course you have the placeholders in the source file, but it made that go away. So number of rows and sections and self for row at, we're going to get to there in a minute. But right now we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of the fetch results controller. So now, oops, not plus, enter. We're going to create a variable called fetch controller, and it's going to be of the type NSFetchedResultsController, and it's going to target our book entity. First unwrap it, and we're going to create our loadData function using the FRC, which is func loadData. And in order to do that, I have to create a fetch request. And we're going to let that request be, I'm going to let request equal NSFetchedResults. And entity name is going to be book. And then next thing we're going to do is fetch controller equals NSFetchedResultsController. And in order to set up one of those, we have to have a lot of little stuff here. So the fetch request is going to be the request up there. Context is going to be the context up top. Section name key path is going to be the attribute that we use to create sections. So that's going to be author name, and the cache name is nil. So now that we have all that, we'll do another do catch block here. Loading data, And for try, we're going to try the fetch controller dot perform fetch, and that's how to do fetch with the fetch controller. It's a little bit different with just the CoreData, and a lot of times I'll set up just an array if I'm not looking to use this section tabling thing. So again, yeah, check out the other one if you don't necessarily need to sort things. The other video, I mean. Table view dot reload data. Now we're going to go into our number for rows at section and the cell for row at index path. So I'd say we're in the bonus here. This is going to be basic cell for row at index path stuff. But this right here is a little more advanced fetch results controller. We'll get to that in a second. Now, this is anyone that set up a table view. It's pretty similar. Table view, DQ, reusable cell with the identifier book cell, which is what I believe we used, for index path. And it's going to be as our book table view cell. And in there, we're going to create an entity, FetchController.object at the index path. So that's how you select something within the Fetch Results Controller. And it's going to be cell dot, what did we call that? Book title. Book title. That's what we called that. Cell.booktitle.text is going to equal our entity, which is the book. That's what it's pointing at. Is it's pointing at book. So entity.title, and that's going to throw an error because that is an optional. And so our default value is going to be add book, because if there isn't one, then that's what's going to show, and that makes sense, right? So our final step here will be to return the cell. Get up here and we're going to return. Basically, anytime you use a fetch results controller, you're going to have to set it up like this. So you'll get used to it. See, hold on. Yeah, they're being pretty lazy with filling in the number of objects thing here. And otherwise, we're going to have a return 0. Excuse me. And let's build it because it's giving me all kinds of wonky stuff here. And the next thing that we're going to do is let's just scroll down and find number of sections. Okay, that's better. Now for our number of sections, it's going to use a if let. Because the fetch controller is an optional. Otherwise, we're just going to return one section. Oh yeah, we're going to have to unwrap that. And then just to show you another way to work with optionals, when we go into our func title for header in section, I'm going to use a guard let section info fetch controller app.sections. Yeah, and it is, you know, it's a lot of typing, a lot of extra stuff that you have to do in this versus a plain table view with an array. Return add items. But it's worth it if you want to, you know, scale it off by section. It looks really nice, and you never really have to add anything, or you don't have to worry about scaling this. It does it all on its own. And then it's going to be let title equal section info dot name, and then we're going to return that title. Let's see if all those errors go away. All right, and so it seems like we're done here. Let's make sure we don't have any bugs and just run the app real quick. Okay, so yeah, I ran the app and I found that I had done something in the add button pressed that wasn't a great idea. Just, you know, a simple mistake. Where it said auth text field equals author text field, these two were reversed. So what you need to do is set the author text field to the auth text field, which is this one, and then the title text field to the book text field, which is this one. So I had these, again, I had these like inversely related on different sides of the equal sign, and that screwed it up. So now though, oh, also one more. I added self load data at the end of the UI alert action, because what happened was the view wasn't uploading, or the table view wasn't reloading whenever we would add something. So now it will, and so hopefully that that works for you. And okay, now we're ready to run our app. Gonna delete it. Whenever I use CoreData, I like to delete it and run it again, just in case there's any issues with migration and stuff from one database to another. And so we're going to do, the author name is David Goggins, and the book is called Can't Hurt Me. It's a free shout out to David Goggins. I've been reading this book for a while. Very intense, guy's crazy. Did all kinds of crazy stuff, running ultra marathons and was in the Navy SEALs and stuff. Really cool. And then another Sam Harris, Waking Up. Basically about like spirituality without religion. So if you're religious, it's not. He's very rude to people that are religious, which is But like, you know, he's trying to make a point, so whatever. But long story, it's about like meditation and stuff. So it is good if you want to be you know, spiritual and not religious. That is possible, and it's shown in this book. But I guess there's a couple of book recommendations along with this app, and I hope you really liked it. There's more stuff on table views and CoreData, like I said in the description in the beginning of the video. And I'm going to put this finished product on GitHub so you guys can work on it. Maybe if there's any bugs, you guys could find it and send in pull requests. I always like to get stuff like that and have my apps tip-top shape. So yeah, thanks guys. Take it easy.